hangs in the balance. Human endeavor turns to chaos. And within seconds, nothing will ever be the same. Ever. We have assembled some of the most unbelievable moments of destruction ever caught on camera. From a 700-year-old church collapsing in an earthquake to a farm being totally decimated by a tornado. It's TV taken to the extreme. I'm Ron Pitts, and this is Destroyed in Seconds. Along a major trucking artery in southern Taiwan, a semi has just rear-ended a tanker truck. The tanker contains 25 tons of a highly flammable chemical called styrene, and the spreading fire threatens to detonate the tanker. Firefighters attack the flames at all angles, but the fire refuses to submit. The pressure inside the cylinder builds as firefighters struggle to cool the tanker. The intensity of the heat creates tornado-shaped flames shooting from the tanker. It's a final warning. Firefighters retreat as burning shrapnel pelts them from above. A reporter on the scene runs to an injured fireman. Further analysis reveals the flames surrounding the styrene-filled tank heated the chemical beyond its combustion point of 914 degrees. This spontaneous ignition erupts more than 250 feet into the air. The blast instantly vaporized all 25 tons of the chemical inside the tanker. With no fuel to burn, the fire dissipates. Damage is widespread. The cab of the tanker looks like a bombed-out shell. As for the semi, all that remains is its charred and melted chassis. In the end, 4 firefighters received only minor injuries when this tanker truck exploded and shook this Taiwanese highway.
The forecast is for winds between 18 knots, gusting to 22.
1997, Cape Canaveral, Florida. The U.S. Air Force is about to launch its Delta II rocket, carrying a state-of-the-art navigational satellite.
Currently, the launch team is not working any issues.
SSC hydraulic external power on.
Delta Launch Control closely monitors the event.
100% locks.
100% LOX topping is reported. We're at T-minus 47 seconds and counting.
45. Main power disable on.
Spirits are high today because this rocket launch will kick off a year-long celebration for the 50th anniversary of the U.S. Air Force.
RCO report range go for launch. RCO range go.
The range safety officer reports clear to launch.
All systems check, and the countdown begins.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 0. We have ignition and liftoff from Cape Canaveral Air Station of the Air Force Delta II launch vehicle carrying the new GPS 2R satellite. We have had an anomaly. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 0. We have ignition and liftoff.
The U.S. Air Force has just launched its Delta II rocket carrying a GPS satellite. Then, at just 1,589 feet, something goes terribly wrong.
We have had an anomaly.
254 tons of flaming debris shower the landscape.
We just had an anomaly of the Delta II launch vehicle from Cape Canaveral Air Station. This is Air Force Delta Launch Control. We need to secure the area.
The explosion is felt as far as 25 miles away, and smoke from the blast is seen from much of Florida's eastern coast.
We had liftoff 11:22 a.m. of a Delta II rocket, and we did have a major problem.
An investigation reveals that one of the rocket's 9 boosters contained an internal 17-foot crack. This catastrophic defect leads to the explosion moments after liftoff.
We have ignition and liftoff from Cape Canaveral Air Station.
U.S. Air Force's $95 million loss. No one is injured when the Delta II rocket explodes. To mark World No Smoking Day in Thailand, anti-smoking activists are holding a mock funeral procession. Being laid to rest is a 40-foot nylon cigarette used to represent the dangers of smoking. The cigarette makes its way through town and stops at a group of awaiting dignitaries. Thai singing sensation Payong Mukta is given the symbolic task of cutting the cigarette in half to kick off the anti-smoking celebration. However, the dull knife makes slicing through the mock cigarette impossible. But Payong is determined to get the show going. Unfortunately, he's about to get it going up in flames. A closer look shows that just as the balloons are about to be released, the gas inside ignites, melting the cigarette and sending a wall of flames across the grandstand. The people closest to the blaze are left with burnt hands, scorched faces, and missing eyebrows. The investigation into the explosion was inconclusive, but this incident is yet more evidence that cigarettes in any form can be hazardous to your health. At 14,000 feet in the Tian Shan Mountains, a helicopter arrives to take a climbing expedition to their base camp. Quickly, the cargo and passenger holds are filled with gear and climbers, and it isn't long before the craft is overloaded. The pilot realizes that the helicopter is too heavy to take off. Videographer Stefan Nowak and several others are forced to disembark in order to lighten the load. Stefan rolls as the helicopter strains to lift off in the thin mountain air.